a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We've got Martin Gramatica in studio with us, representing Lifeguard Imaging. We're going to talk with him here in just a minute. Coming off a great football weekend, too, Martin, so I'm looking forward to catching up around that, too, man. Some pretty good stuff happening this weekend there.
Good, yeah, no, well, I mean, we lost, Bucks lost, US Hwy lost, so as far as that, good football all the way around the country, but our local teams, man, not so well, but hey, you never look back, you look forward.
That's right, and Nico Gramatica with a couple big clutch kicks in the Bucks first half. We had a good first half for the Bucks.
Bulls.
Or the Bulls, yeah, not so much
man,
for the...
If he was playing for the Bucks, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the Bulls. We're excited for him. You know, he got his opportunity. He's been waiting for it as a true freshman to go out there and knock those kicks. I mean, we're so proud of him. But what I tell people is like... what he did, we're very happy for, but we're proud of how he got there, how much work he put into it to get there. Because just because he has my name on the back of the jersey doesn't mean he's going to make it. You know, so it took a lot of work, it took a lot of sacrifice, and he's doing it right. He's from day one, he's treated this like a pro.
That's right.
You know, so we're so proud of him and happy for him. So
awesome, man. Good stuff. So we're going to talk with Martin, little football, little life, health, nutrition. Relating to lifeguard imaging as well, your health side. Also, Representative Danny Alvarez coming in. He's a state house rep here in Florida. He's representing the East Hillsborough County District out there, District 69. We're going to talk with him about current events, things happening in politics, as well as Alex BlackBelt Lima in studio, as always, filling in as guest host last week for us as well. So we appreciate that. As you know, we'd like to feature our real estate listings, and I'd like to start off with a brand new listing that we just pitched. We just started up here in Plant City, the listing on Masters Way. This one is 1905 Masters Way. Gorgeous home, brand new listing for us. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage. You got about 3,000 square foot single family home here. Almost a .40 acre lot, just shy of that. No backyard neighbors. Split floor plan. Beautiful, beautiful property here. And lots of updates. You can put a pool in the back. There's plenty of room back there to put a pool. You're in Walden Lakes as well, so you've got a lot of amenities there: walking trails, dog park, playground, sports complex, access to the lake for non-motorized vehicle. Beautiful property, 1905 Masters Way, Plant City. Another hot listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Also, 221 Howard Drive, one of my favorite listings right now. This is a $3 million plus listing, $3 million plus listing from the Platinum MVP team. 221 Howard Drive. This one's 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot single family home. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 linear feet of water frontage on deep water access there to the bay. So bring your boat, jet skis. You're 1 block to beach access as well. Check out 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida, and you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
And a quick shout out to our friend Lee over at Lee's Royal Services. Does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Shout out to leesroyalservices.com, leesroyalservices.com, home and office cleaning, Lee's Royal Services. All right, Martin Gramatica back in studio, and always good to catch up with you, man. And yeah, like you said, it was just so exciting to see Nico and the success, and even from a week or two ago at Alabama, really, and it just shows the grit he has. The kid's got grit. He's willing to jump in there and get that fumble recovery.
Oh yeah, no, that was pretty cool to see. But more importantly, USF going in the right direction. Because we were at the top with Levitt, and then kind of had a few. A lot of years of not great football, coaches coming and going, and now with Coach Gold, it's just turning it around where you are competing in every game, and you're winning football games where in the past they weren't winning. So now we're so happy not only that Nico stayed close to home, but the direction USF is going is even better because now it's a competitive team. Everybody wants to come to USF. Their slogan, I think, is "Come to the Bay." Why wouldn't you want to live in Tampa? So we're excited for everything that's going on at USF.
Tampa Bay, what a great place to live, work, and play. The economy, everything's great here. You got the beaches, all the different sports, and all that good stuff. Lots of great companies as well. Lifeguard Imaging is your company, and tell us a little bit about Lifeguard Imaging.
So we're doing preventative scans for heart disease, cancer. I would say 99% of the population have no idea they can do a preventative scan. I found out about LifeGuard through an ad because I didn't know I could do a scan. So when my wife and I saw that, I said, we got to go do this. We have 3 kids. Not only for our kids, we're going to do it for each other. We want to make sure we're healthy. And sure enough, I was going in to go for peace of mind because I assumed, okay, I eat right, I exercise, I coach soccer, so I'm running around, so I should be fine. But that's not the case. You know, we see triathletes that have heart disease and cancer that they have no idea they have. Yeah. And the first symptom of heart disease, I mean, I don't have to tell you. Right. You've gone through it. And the first symptom of cancer is usually late stage. So what we're doing is wanting our patients to come in when they feel good, because if anything's going on, we're more likely going to detect it when it's, you know, treatable with a higher percentage, but more importantly, good quality of life, eliminating the chemos and radiation. Every single day in our office, 1 to 3 of our patients will have their life saved by a preventative scan.
Yeah, that's really awesome to have that. I appreciate you bringing that offer to our audience as well, because you do offer this as well as an ongoing to our audience as far as a heart scan.
Yes, so anybody that calls through your office, we're going to give them a free heart scan, and that's 100% complimentary. There's no reading fee, there's nothing. Now, part of that, they're going to have a consultation with one of our patient advocates who is going to explain everything and all our other services. We have, again, what we were just talking about, the full body scan, which is our most popular scan because that's the one that detects hundreds of cancers. We've also added carotid ultrasound. So we're doing ultrasound for the carotid. That's for stroke. That's a machine that we just put in about 4 months ago. And we've also have the virtual colonoscopy, which I did mine about 6 months ago. So much less invasive and more thorough than the conventional one. And I mean, it's a necessary exam after a certain age, and I mean, the doctors recommend it. It was 50, they dropped it down to 45. Now they're recommending it, possibly they're dropping it down to 40. So with our VC, which has been, I believe it or not, it's been endorsed by the White House medical staff. Wow. Every current and former president from Obama is getting a virtual colonoscopy. Mark Cuban, who we all know, the basketball owner, he had one done a few years ago and wrote a huge article about it because he had both. So he did the comparison, how much less invasive and more thorough the virtual was. So we have that exam as well. Yeah,
leading edge, cutting edge technology. Martin Gramatica, LifeGuard Imaging here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. And there's one thing we know. We know that we have to, as consumers today, take control of every aspect of our life, not just finances, but health, nutrition. My wife is very in tune with the the foods that we put in our body, organics, and of course, and she's vegetarian, and I like to eat some of her dishes as well. It tastes good when you cook it right. It tastes good, man. You mix all the right veggies
we're
in there.
From LaBelle, man. We got to have meat.
Yeah,
I'm from Argentina. If I don't eat steak, then I'll be disowned. So.
I know, right? Yeah, I hear you. I like my share of meats, and I'll mix it up. But I do find myself eating a lot more turkey, things like that. If I go to Sonny's Barbecue, something like that. But when you think about I was coming off a podcast this weekend too. I was listening to JFK on a Charlie Kirk podcast, and he was just talking about the depth and the level of because he used to bring suits. Robert F. Kennedy, that is RFK, would bring suits against the federal government and against the different departments. So we know that the Goliath and behemoth that our federal government has become with all of these 3-letter agencies, they're not going to take care of us. We need to take care of each other, is my point.
Well, the thing is, you can talk about finance, you can talk about everything, but without your health, you have nothing.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that we want to let people know, that they can take health into their own hands and get a preventative scan, because believe it or not, this technology has been around for over 25 years. There's an office in Atlanta that's doing what we're doing for 25 years. Frankie, our director, ran that office for 3.5 years before coming to Tampa.
Right.
But nobody knows.
Right.
Because obviously we have the best healthcare in the world, but it's not preventative. It's not it's reactionary. They don't want us to prevent or cure anything, because obviously we cost more money when we're sick.
Yep.
But now with a scan like ours, we can detect these hundreds of cancers early enough where patients can survive it, avoiding the chemos, the radiations.
Right.
And not with heart disease, a patient can be 99% black, and they can go see a cardiologist, go do a heart cath, and potentially have a stent put in, and not have to wait for that heart attack and not know if you survive, because most people don't survive the heart attack. So, when our patients get a scan, they can take action right away and potentially save their life because of the scan.
Yeah, save their life, save their family from going through that 6 to 8 months of chemo and radiation therapies. And because you do get these people from time to time they say, "Oh, well, I'd just rather not know. I'd rather just, right." But when you take that mindset, you're literally saying to yourself, this is given that you're going to take the treatments and do the chemo treatments and radiation treatments. You're going through 8 to 9 months or more of hell with what that puts you through. We've all seen people go through that, losing your hair, and then your family's dragged along through it as well. So it's a very selfish act to say that.
We hear that a lot, Brandon, and I hear it from friends as well. But what I tell them is, you will know. If something's going on in your body, you're going to know. So would you rather know early, be able to treat it, and not go through the chemo, the radiation?
Right.
Or do you want to wait till the end when it's too late?
Yeah.
And that's the message I always tell my friends. I said, look, you will know. If it's there, you know. And I had another friend say, oh, my friend doesn't want to go because he thinks that you might find something. Yeah. I go, well, if that something's there, whether we scan or not, that something's there. Yeah. So if it is there, you want us to find it so that he can treat it. So that's the thing. And that's the thing. These scans aren't for everybody. If some people just don't want to know because it's an inconvenience to follow up or treat something that could be dangerous, then these scans aren't for them, because we're purposely looking for any abnormalities from the top of the shoulders to the base of the pelvis when they do a full body scan. Right. And obviously, if there's something detected, now they can take it to their doctors and get it treated. Yeah,
and I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's a first-class organization. Martin and his team, they do such a great job over there. The whole staff, I've been in there. I've done the treatments or the scan, and it was great. It was a great experience. I actually did the colonoscopy as well. Great experience, and very good location as well. Convenient location right over there at Rocky Point.
Yes, right off the right there, Rocky Point. I always say right next to Bahama Breeze. Everybody knows what Bahama Breeze is.
There you go.
So right there. I mean, it's really easy, centrally located for everybody. And the other thing is we're also opening up new offices. We're going to open in Sarasota first quarter of next year. That's the plan. The remodel's already happening. Everything takes a little bit longer, but we hope by first quarter of next year. And our goal is to open 1 to 3 lifeguards a year. That's the plan, the growth plan. We want more people to know and have access to this technology, because it is saving thousands of lives every year, but most people don't know they can do this. So now with us getting out in the community, let them know. Yeah. And that's one of the things I always tell people. We're so lucky to have it here, because I say we because I went in as a patient first. Yeah. So it wasn't like I was, looking it up or interested in something like this. I didn't even know you could do it, but then I went in as a patient first. But we're only 1 of 7 office in the whole country doing preventative scans when we do. So it's not like something that's in every city or in every state. Yeah. So we're so lucky to have it in our backyard. So why not take advantage of it?
Yeah, we really are. Give us a little teaser too. I want to talk a little bit of sports on the second. We're going to take a quick break on the second segment here. Give us a little teaser of what you might want to mention. Bucks and Bulls, either way.
Well, I mean, they both need to get better. That's the thing. No, I think the Bulls, when you play Miami, they're loaded. So the first half we hung in there, really tight game, and then obviously when Miami gets momentum, it's hard to stop. And then with the Bucks, we just had an off game, and I don't want people to panic over one game. You can't look back. Like I said, look forward, but we have a lot of injuries, so we've got to get healthy.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's take a quick break. More with Martin Gramatica on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More sports, more health, and some consumer advocate tips coming up here. Also, our feel-good story of the day. Very cool story here. 100-year-old Holocaust survivor granted wish to reunite with sister one last time. Feel-good story coming up as well. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. They offer the very best nationwide coverage on 4G and 5G LTE networks and exceptional 100% US-based customer support. Patriot Mobile offers discounts for veterans and first responders, NRA members, and families with multiple lines. Learn more at patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. That's patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can reach out at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707, and we'd be happy to tell you more about Patriot Mobile.
Hey, cool cats, summer's definitely started here in Florida. The only question is, are you hot or are you too hot? Here at Pool & Coolin', our goal is to keep you cool. We do AC repairs, full system replacements, and whatever else it takes to provide you with superior service. With over 150 years of experience, our technicians are fast, honest, and dependable. Pool & Coolin', we'll keep you cool. Call now, 855-955-COOL. That's 855-955-COOL.
Lindsay Rhymes here with Archer Place in Gainesville, Florida. Our luxury condo community is located only 1.5 miles from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. Our buyers love the high-end luxury amenities in their building, including a state-of-the-art fitness facility equipped with Pelotons, the resort-style temperature-controlled pool accompanied with cabanas and grills, and the gourmet chef's kitchen in our clubhouse that overlooks the pool. We have pre-construction pricing only for a limited time, with floor plans ranging from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath to 2-floor penthouses with plunge pools. Starting in the low 400,000s to the high 900s, investors, parents sending their young adults off to school, medical professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs alike are investing in these residences. Reach out to us today at 727-263-3707 to get more information.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio. Martine Gramatica with us in studio as well. Lifeguard Imaging. We're going to come back to him in just a minute here. A couple of hot listings. We always like to feature our real estate properties. It's part of our strategy that helps us sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit for our listing clients, our sellers. Property on Archer Place in Gainesville, Florida. This one's a great opportunity, passive investment for any parents maybe that have children going to school or kids going to school in Gainesville. This one's 3101 Old Archer Road, Unit 209. Also special incentives for University of Florida Health and the doctors in that area as well. You're 1.5 miles from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. These are high-end luxury condos. We've got 92 units total. We're about 25% sold out on these already, starting in the low 400s up to the 900s. And you have floor plans ranging from 1 bedrooms up to 3 bedrooms. 2-story penthouses with plunge pools, absolutely gorgeous. And this is state-of-the-art, cutting-edge, beautiful, beautiful luxury condos in Gainesville, Florida. 3101 Old Archer Road. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, so we got Martine in studio. When you go back, let's go back to the health side. When you look at health, and we've talked a lot about just the 3-letter agencies in America, you know, what Americans have gone through. And then you look at also all these different studies coming out around what we're putting into our body, the foods and some of the different, especially like the binders. One of the things I like are these little fruit snacks, you know, like little fruit snacks, and it's organic. But, you know, you hear these stories of these different types of materials put in it to make it stickier, to make it crunchier. There's so many threats to our body. What's your thoughts just generally around, you know, the health in America?
No, absolutely. We feel like, and that's why the virtual colonoscopy, in our opinion, is an excellent exam, because we feel like the digestive tract is the reason why, and what we're consuming is what are causing these diseases to be younger and younger. We were scanning 40 and older now. We don't determine who we can scan. Our board-certified radiologist does, and he's recommending that we start at 35. That because we're seeing younger and younger cases. I saw a thing on social media, if you've seen it, where there was 5 food where the one that stuck out was like Fruit Loops.
And
exactly. Fruit Loops in America has like 29 ingredients, and then in Europe it had like 5 or 6.
Right.
The same Kellogg's Fruit Loops, and I'm thinking like, why do we have so much junk in our food and they don't? Because there's certain things that we're consuming here in the States that are banned in Europe.
Right.
So I agree that there's certain things that we're putting in our bodies. And that's why the organic, the natural stuff, the more we can do, the better. But at the end of the day, can you keep from eating anything bad? It's just, there's so much bad out there that. But that's why, in my opinion, that's why what we're doing with Lifeguard is priceless, because the stuff that we're putting in our bodies, because these cancers can be detected early, the heart disease can be detected early, but there's no question that the foods that we're consuming are causing a lot of these things.
Yeah.
In my opinion, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are, and it's a challenge for the everyday, especially adding the economic piece in there too. Now you've got Biden inflation, you got challenges there. So the budget of the American family is just shrinking as this government gets larger. So these companies. So that's all the more reason to check out Martin Gramatica. You can check him out online as well. Lifeguardimaging.com. Lifeguardimaging.com. Also looks like Facebook.com/lifeguardimaging there on Facebook as well. And back to you. Let's go.
Let me give out the number too, Brandon,
yes,
because
please.
Anybody that calls from your show and mentions your show, they're going to get the free heart scan promotion and also the consultation to learn more about it. But the number is 813-582-5222. Just make sure you mention the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we'll take care of the heart scan and obviously learn about all our other services.
Perfect. Yep. 813-582-5222. That's the number to call, and just let them know that you heard about them here on the Quarterback Show. 813-582-5222. You can call or text our show hotline as well, 727-263-3707, just in case a lot of our listeners have that programmed, and I appreciate the programming of the phone number and calling and the connections too. So feel free to call and text me. We'd love to put you in touch with Martin Gramatica, Lifeguard Imaging. And remember, if you bring in a memorabilia piece, he'll sign it for you.
Absolutely, and no Saint stuff or Philly stuff. It's got to be Bucks.
There you go. Got to be Bucks. And yeah, exactly. And so yeah, let's kind of go back. I want to go back to the Bucks conversation too, because that was a big win 2 weeks ago in Detroit on the road,
right.
And then to lose a home game like that is kind of a bummer, kind of a letdown.
Yes, it's definitely deflating, because we had such a high after we beat Detroit in Detroit, because we had the injuries, and you're thinking, okay, it's hard to beat Detroit when you have your full roster. Now you have these major injuries, and then come out and play the way we did. It was just disappointing. But at the end of the day, one game doesn't define your season,
right?
But it's clear that we need to get healthy. It's clear that the offensive line needs to have their starters, Vita Vea and Antoine Winfield Jr., the two anchors in the back. Obviously, in the defense, you've got to have those guys back. So I'm pretty sure that's the message this week. Let's get healthy, and once we get everybody back, we'll be fine. But Baker needs time. He's an elite quarterback, but without time, nobody can be elite. So that's where he needs time, and then he'll pick people apart.
Yeah, exactly. And then what else do you want people to know, man? Everything else good?
Everything's good, yeah. Just busy with the kids and in sports and in life. But yeah, no, I'm excited because like we said earlier, we live in paradise, so we have to be thankful that we're in Florida, and we're thankful that we're in Tampa, because it's a beautiful place to be. So
yeah, man. Yep, happy and grateful to be where we're at. We live where people vacation. You hear that one a lot too.
Yeah.
And it is so true, man. And to be living, working, and playing in Tampa Bay, a great place to be. And then, of course, in Florida in general, there's all these fun things to do. That one news organization, Florida on a Tankful. I mean, you go to the Florida Keys, you can go all the different places. And when you have friends like Captain Will Smith, you never know. You might be doing a $100 cheeseburger trip down to Key West one day. But, yeah, it's a great place to be, man, Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. I mean, Florida, period, but Tampa Bay. And then I think it's a great community to raise kids. That's the more important. Family. I feel like Tampa Bay is like a small town in a big city. Like everybody knows each other, and you have a lot of connections that you can create good relationships here in Tampa.
That's right.
So I'm excited to be here. I'm not going anywhere.
Good stuff, man.
That's one thing I told Lifeguard. We're going to grow, but I'm not relocating.
There you go.
This is home. This is home.
This is home for Martin Gramatica. That's right. All right. Well, thanks for coming in, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. Great to see you again.
Likewise. My pleasure. All right, coming up, we got State Representative Danny Alvarez in studio with us. We're going to talk a little politics, Hillsborough County and beyond. Also, feel-good story of the day, 100-year Holocaust survivor granted wish to reunite with sister one last time. Feel-good story of the day coming up. Follow us online. We'd love to connect at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to our channels on Rumble and YouTube. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show.
All right, we're back. Brandon Rimes here in studio with Representative Danny Alvarez, State Rep, District 69. Going to be on the program here in just a moment. We're going to talk about local things happening here, as maybe some national politics as well. Before we do, a couple of hot listings. We always like to feature our real estate properties live on air and maximize the exposure and the profit on the sale of our real estate listings for our sellers. And we've got a beautiful property here at 14135 Cypress Circle. Cypress Circle in Carrollwood. This is in Tampa. Great opportunity to own a villa-style condo in Cypress Clusters at Carrollwood Village. You have a covered front porch, beautifully tiled floor, great color scheme on the interior there, stainless steel appliances, and a community pool. 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2 carports, 1,308 square feet. 14135 Cypress Circle in Tampa. Beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Gulf Boulevard, one of my favorite listings right here on Gulf Boulevard. This one is on the beach. Have you ever wanted to own a beachfront condo? Well, this is it. You've got 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, Indian Shores, private 2-car parking area, granite countertops, mosaic backsplash, lots of updates and upgrades. A couple of the best characteristics as well on paper. $250 a month is your HOA, super low for your community fee. And then also, yes, you can short-term rent this property. 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F. $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, quick shout out to our friend over at Solar Bear, Blake Ambrester and his team, solarbear.com. You can check them out online. Take control of your energy bill today. Say yes to solar, solarbear.com. And shout out to Blake Ambrester. He was on our program. You can see his replay on YouTube. Just search Blake Ambrester on the Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by Brimes. All right, Representative Danny Alvarez back in studio. Welcome back in, sir.
Thank you, brother. I'm very, very excited to be here.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Yeah, listen, why don't you just give us a little update? It's been a little while since we had you on air, and we have our friend Bernie Jocks on the show, and he gives us updates. What are you seeing on your side?
Brother, listen, first of all, can't have Bernie on the show more than me. That's never going to work. We're going to have a battle of the Bay. Okay. All right? We're going to have a battle of the Bay, and you can tell him I said so.
Arm wrestling all that?
Oh, I'll take him all day long.
Okay, all right.
How about we do pinky wrestling, Bernie? Are we ready?
There we go.
I'm just kidding. Bernie is an incredible member of the team. He's a leader in the House. The Bay Area is extremely lucky to have a guy like that who stands by his values and cares. And there's no one that's going to work harder than him. I mean, and my presence included. So
yeah.
I'm glad he's on the team. I'm super proud that he's a colleague, and Florida's better for it. So
yeah.
Me,
sure.
just been working. This part-time job that takes up full-time times 2.
Yeah.
It just been doing it, but I'm loving. There's no complaint here ever. Any politician that sits here and says that it's hard work, they're just lying to you. It's laborious, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy to get the things done, but if you're there for the right reasons, it's a passion, and you don't even realize you're working.
Right.
And that's the truth.
I love that, man. That's a great sentiment to have, and to be, in the state house and having, great folks like that, being led by our leadership, Governor DeSantis up there. What's some of your key takeaways from your, what you've seen lately?
Well, for me, the finishing up our freshman year, we're running for re-election. I hate this part. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Our system is set up. When we were a small state, young state, it worked. Right? 2 months of session, a couple of weeks in the beginning to get organized. But right now, we're a $117 billion corporation. We would be the 14th largest economy in the world if we were our own country.
Wow.
And we, the board of directors, which is we only meet for 2 months out of the year.
Right.
That doesn't work. It doesn't work. The speed of Florida, the speed at which the citizens need us, doesn't work. But it is what it is, so we do the best we can with what we got. And, I mean, there's passionate people up there that are doing a lot of good stuff, and we got a lot of work to do going in the future, and clearly not resting on our laurels. But we've moved the ball a ton.
Yeah.
So keeping Florida free. Everywhere we go, every time, like during these breaks when we're not in session, we'll travel the country, meet other reps, and I cannot tell you to a person how many times someone goes, "Oh, are you a rep from Florida? Man, y'all are lucky."
Yeah.
And I'm like, it ain't luck. It ain't luck. When you believe in freedom and when you believe in individuals, and that little piece of paper called the Constitution, both the U.S. and the state of Florida one, if you put your faith in that, then everything else follows. But when you go against it, then you get things like California, Chicago, New York, and we're just never going to do that, not while I got breath.
Yeah.
So.
And I love to hear Trump's sentiment lately about the sanctuary cities potentially doing away with those.
Look, you as a policy cannot say, I'm not going to enforce a law. Like we've had, for example, Andrew Warren lost his job here for doing just that. You know, we had the governor take away another prosecutor for doing just that. You can't do that. You get charged with enforcing the law, and you know there is discretion, which means how much did they break it? Will we bend this time to teach a lesson? Okay, but as a policy, you can't do that. That breaks the rules of society. That breaks the very reason that we got you in that job and we asked you to do it. So if you choose to not enforce law, then you better have a really, really good reason. You know, people always say, as an Army officer that I was, we took an oath. And so, Danny, would you follow every order you were given? Mm-hmm. And the answer is yes, but I had the right to say no if it was an unlawful order, right? So is it an unlawful order what you're being asked to do? So right now the law of the land is what it is, and you're supposed to follow it. And if you choose to not to as a city, well, maybe President Trump will come in and do something about it.
Yeah, it was interesting, too. I got a clip I'm going to go to here because when I heard this one, you know, as you know, RFK is now, you know, on Team Trump and potentially, you know, with the transition. And when you hear, the more I hear about his background and how he actually took on some of the big interest groups and the three-letter agencies with lawsuits, literally just throwing paperwork at them and lawsuits and going against the establishment, I really like a lot of what he talks about. Of course, he did have some pretty radical ideas in other areas, but here's one that really caught me by surprise when it's talking about using our tax government dollars for Ozempic.
Right. And if I could add to that, right now there's a bill in front of Congress that is has bipartisan support. It's one of the few bipartisan bills in Congress, and that bill is going to make Ozempic.
I'm going to pause right there because it's bipartisan, because it seems like there's a lot of money flowing here. So it seems like everybody involved, there might be a lot of money flowing. Let's do the math here in a minute.
Available to anybody who is under Medicare and Medicaid to pay for Ozempic for any American who is diagnosed with obesity. That's 74% of our population. 74%. And it's $1,500 a month. The cost of that is $3 trillion annually to our country if that bill goes through. $3 trillion. For a tiny fraction of that, you could buy an organic meal for every single American 3 meals a day.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. The spending that's going on in D.C. has to stop. This is crazy.
It's not going to stop. It doesn't matter what it's just not going to stop. The reality of the matter is people say, hey, Danny, you want to run for U.S. Congress someday? And I was like, in no way do I want to do something like that. Why? Right. Because I feel like I go up there and I'm going to spit into the wind. I'll give you great sound bites. Yep. You're going to be like, man, that Danny sure loves freedom. He sure... But what are we actually doing to fight the beast? I don't have the answer, but I can do that in Florida, right? Yeah. We can stay here in Florida. Up at that level, Brandon, to be honest with you, at the state level, we spend an inordinate amount of money for things that you're like, is that really where we're going to send taxpayer dollars? You know what I mean? And then people get on the government, like you'll fund a charity. And oftentimes that might be the right conduit to do the thing that the government would do, but the charity will do it better. Yep. So we fund that. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Ozempic, right? Yeah. Who is like people that are on Ozempic right now, or that there's side effects of them they're hurting them more than they're helping them, right? Yep. So it's a fad, but look, it's a fad now we want to fund at the federal government, and this is super sad.
Terrible, isn't it?
Sad.
Terrible.
Sad.
Absolutely. If you just joined us, by the way, we're talking with Representative Danny Alvarez here. He's local to East Hillsborough County, I believe, District 69 out that way. What's going on in that specific area? What's going on in your district?
Well, I'd like to. We had a joke when we first started, and it's called traffic. You know what I mean? Like, and I wish I had a magic wand for traffic. That problem was laid down 25 years ago when we knew that we would be growing, and those county commissions didn't use their impact fees. You know, you're in real estate.
Let me pause right there. Is it because what I've heard too in the past, and my uncle was very involved in he was a council member at one point, Joseph Catano. He had mentioned to me, and I was just a younger pup coming up and learning and hearing a little bit about this, that Buckhorn and some of those guys, previous mayors, maybe even Iorio, I'm not sure, but they would take a lot of the dollars generated from, for example, East Hillsborough or New Tampa and put it in nice new stuff downtown, Harbor Island, and those areas.
Well, the truth is, like, you can prioritize when you're the executive, or even, and that's the city of Tampa, you can prioritize where you're going to spend your dollars and then justify it, right? And there's nothing wrong. I do that. You do that in your corporate budgetary, right? And we do that. But what we're talking about here on a county-wide basis is we're short in my area something like 20-something fire stations. We shouldn't be short that. Right now, when it could take you 13 minutes if you're in the east side of the county to get a fire truck to you, right? Wow. And let me tell you something. Our new chief is phenomenal. His staff is phenomenal. That's not a fire problem because those people are zero fail. They will come. When you ring the bell, they're coming. What they're telling you is it's taking us too long because there's not enough of us and we need more stations. Our current county commission, they're listening, but they only have so many dollars to go around. So that's what I mean is this is a long-term problem that came to us and we're now suffering, but we could never ever, Brandon, we couldn't have predicted the perfect storm, right? We make Florida free. Yep. We keep Florida free. We lead during COVID, and now everyone goes, I want Florida. Yeah. Right? So we don't have enough inventory. We don't have enough roads. It's a perfect storm. We'll find our level, I promise. Yep. But there's some growing pains for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the insurance space comes to mind as well.
Oh, God.
Insurances.
Yeah. And let me tell you, when I'm knocking doors, which is what we're doing right now, we're in campaign mode, 45 days from the election. We knock on doors literally every day. Number one thing is, what are we going to do about insurance? Yep. So when I first got there, my very first vote was insurance reform. That was a special session the governor called. And at that point, we were promised certain things, right? That the needle would move, that the rates would go down. I don't believe rates will go down because once an insurance company figures that Brandon can afford a $3,000 bill, they ain't going to move from a $3,000 bill. You're going to pay
that's
it,
your
right?
New baseline.
So that's your new baseline, right? So, so what we hope is we don't have these huge jumps going forward, and we have applications coming into the state to provide services from insurance companies, which is a very, very positive sign. 2 years ago, they were leaving, right? They even got money from the state and they left. Yep. The underwriters were leaving. The secondary market was leaving. So those trends are changing, but I'm positive we can do more. We just need to make sure that when we move correctly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what I've heard as well from other folks involved, like our insurance expert contributor, Jason Mears, Florida Best Quote Insurance, mentioning similar. Hey, it's starting to stabilize. We're getting stabilized here. We're getting stabilization now. We're seeing folks come back into the state of Florida, providing a little more competition, and when there's competition, the consumers win, and that's what we want to do here on the Consumer Quarterback Show is protect all of our consumers out there. So anything you want to talk to Representative Danny Alvarez about, or any of our expert contributors, reach out to the show hotline, 727-263-3707. Call or text that hotline. It's an off-air number, 727-263-3707. Call or text the hotline, 263-3707. Any questions you have, any connections as well, that's part of our program as well, is providing those connections to all of our expert contributors, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, home service providers. We got Fred Muth in studio with us as well, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. He's going to be on the next show coming up. But yeah, that's the idea, is our strategy works. It works on the real estate side, but it also works as a consumer advocate, because I hear every week people being taken advantage of scams, or a Ponzi scheme happened to a close friend of mine. I mean, you have these things happen. And that's why we set up the show about 11 years ago now, is to be that consumer advocate to help you save time, money, and overcome these different adversarial positions that you may be in. Great attorneys associated with the show. So reach out, 727-263-3707 for any of our 80 different categories that we can help you as your consumer advocate, online at consumerqb.com, online at consumerqb.com. All right, taking a quick break. More with Representative Danny Alvarez in studio with us here coming up on the flip side. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, 100-year-old Holocaust survivor granted wish to reunite with sister one last time. Feel-good story of the day coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com.
Lindsay Rhymes here. My husband Brandon and I own the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams, and our team of seasoned agents is ready to help you buy, sell, invest, and love the life you live here in Tampa Bay. Communication, execution, customer service, and bulletproofing transactions are really where our team shines. We service Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties, and we have seasoned agents in residential, luxury land, and commercial divisions. Reach out to us, your Christian realtors, and let us help empower you with the right knowledge to make smart decisions with your next transaction. Call us at 727-263-3707 today. Again, that number is 727-263-3707.
Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Representative Danny Alvarez coming up here in just a moment. Before we do, we're going to definitely talk about getting out the vote. That's a key element here locally, your local contest. We're going to talk about that coming up just a minute. We got a hot listing here in Tampa Bay. I want to talk about one of our properties at 82124 B Street. It's in Pinellas Park, 82124 B Street North. And this one is unit number 124. The owner's motivated here. 55-plus community, fresh paint, new HVAC system, and you have just a great opportunity for a entry-level home here. 82124 B Street North, unit 124, Pinellas Park. Great opportunity here in Tampa Bay. Also, Rudder Way. I love this vacant land. We sell vacant land, commercial property. This one on Rudder Way is an opportunity for you. 10 acres of land, 3.9 MOL uplands, and you have direct access to the Gulf of Mexico coming in at 10.12 acres of vacant land, residential land, and your zoning allows, R12 allows for flexible development options. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet. Tell me something good.
Feel good story of the day. 100-year-old Holocaust survivor Helena Stefanik was granted her heartfelt wish to reunite with her sister Barbara thanks to AARP's Wish of a Lifetime program. Helena and Barbara, who grew up in war-torn Warsaw, were separated in 1944 when Helena was sent to a Nazi work camp in Germany. Despite the horrors and years apart, Helena never gave up on hope of finding her sister. They reunited in 1947 in New Jersey, maintaining an unbreakable bond. As her health declined approaching her 100th birthday, Helena's final wish was to see Barbara one last time, and the program made that possible, allowing her to travel from Montana to New Jersey for their emotional farewell. Helena expressed heartfelt, deep gratitude for the reunion, saying, "Thanks from the bottom of my heart. The Wish of a Lifetime program has granted over 2,700 wishes, helping seniors reconnect with loved ones and fulfill their hopes in meaningful ways." All right, there you have it, our feel-good story of the day. And we've got a few more minutes here with Representative Danny Alvarez, and we're kind of brainstorming ideas. One of the things I see is the challenge of, especially when we saw the peak of the season a couple years ago when the buying frenzy was on. It was like you said, Florida was the place to be. Everybody wanted a little bit of our freedom and our sunshine here. And these hedge funds come in and just compete with veterans and beat out home buyers. And as a realtor, a lot of times you're like, hey, the cash is, I got to present the best offer to my client. Cash close in 2 weeks, hard to beat by a veteran loan that's going to take 30 to 40 days to close, et cetera. But that's one thing that I hear, kind of from people. Any thoughts on that?
Well, so there's this balance. If you are truly a free market guy, live and let live, right? That's kind of what we say we are, right? That's why we expand freedom in Florida so much, and we promote it. You got to be careful when you go to mess with these things, right? So sometimes the fix is worse than the problem, right? And then we get a little too much totalitarian in our thought process. But doesn't mean there shouldn't be some action. Just you got to figure out what that's going to be. You also see it in the rental market, like these big renter markets. When the power is so tilted in the hands of, for example, one of these big rental conglomerates. Well, technically they follow all the rules, right? But they know that if they send you a $3,000 bill when you're done for damages that you may or may not have done, you're going to sue them? You're going to go into arbitration? They're going to choke you out every time. So people just roll over and get it, and then they win. You know what I mean? So there's this need, this thing that tells you in your gut, morally, ethically, that shouldn't be that way, and we should protect Americans and Floridians. So if ever in those situations that we see that, like when we go to do something, I'm open to it. I really am, and I think most people would be, because protecting Floridians is our primary goal, and sometimes you need the strong hand of the government.
Yeah, and especially in a sense where what I've seen in the past or what I think may make sense here, and if you ever need help crafting some of these legislations, especially in the real estate space, I'd be happy to help. But what I think it would be is something to the effect of, putting a time limit on it. The first month only, or the first 3 months, or 2 to 3 weeks, that we're not looking at investor offers. It has to be an actual end user, owner occupant.
Right. That makes sense. That's an option. Especially
for veterans.
That's an option, especially because the idea right now is we have a pool of Floridians that cannot, when the option is leave the state, we're failing, right?
That's right.
So Is that sound a little drastic, what you said? Would you have considered that 5 years ago? You'd have been like, no, Danny, let the free market do what the free market's going to do. We got to figure out something, because when I've got families that can't rent because they can't afford the rent, and they can't buy because they can't get into a home for lack of inventory,
that's right,
or interest rate, now we got a problem.
Yep, or they've got a little mangled credit because of an issue. All right, big election coming up in November. You're on the ticket. There's a lot of your friends. We got Billy Christensen running for supervisor of elections. 1 minute, back to you. Final thoughts.
I think, guys like Billy are what I call disruptors. You know what I mean? They come in, they take a hard look, and in government, you need guys like Billy. Yep. Folks that come in, take a look, and go, you've always done it this way. Why? Mm-hmm. And then, sometimes the enemy of progress, corporate or government, is we've always done it this way, right? You need someone to come in, take a good hard look. And to be honest with you, that job, the supervisor of elections, should be the most transparent place in the world, where we clear our rules and we make sure that the right people are voting. If you lose the judiciary and the Department of Elections and your cops, we are a banana republic, and we are the thing that everyone's running away from. Yeah. It's getting close. We need to be careful.
It is. Danny Alvarez. Check him out online, electdannyalvarez.com. That's still the best site for you.
Yes, sir.
electdannyalvarez.com. You can find him online there. And thanks for coming in. Appreciate the updates.
Thank you, my brother. Love you guys.
Pleasure. Yep, likewise. Really appreciate you coming in. And Martin Gramatica on the front end there. We have Danny Alvarez as well. Great show. And I want to remind you about our Consumer Advocate platform. It's all about you, our listener, our viewers online, and please subscribe to the channels. And it's all about helping you live a better life as a consumer advocate. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.